Rich are fitter and poor are fatter. In Colombia's context, in Colombia there is a huge gap between rich and poor people, and this is no secret for anyone. Colombia has traditionally always been a stratified country with high levels of income inequality throughout its history. First of all, I would like to mention that nearly half of Colombians struggle to afford food in 2019. According to some polls developed by Maisel in 2019, almost half of Colombians couldn't afford food in that year. The percentage of Colombians who are struggling to afford food has gradually increased since 2015. In this year, in 2019, the 45% of people in Colombia say they were unable to offer food for themselves or for their family in the last 12 months. According to this, there is an inequality when it comes to buying food in Colombia. Secondly, many Colombians unable to offer adequate shelter in the past years. More than 4 in 10 of Colombians, meaning the 43%, report having lacked money for shelter in the last year or in that year. As the percentage of Colombians who report having had insufficient funds for food in the last years, there is also a difference, a gender gap in those who haven't had the money for a shelter. Nearly half of Colombian women, I mean the 48% of them, say they have lacked money for housing or for seeking a shelter in that year, compared to the 38% of men. Another issue is the income distribution. The top 10 of the country's earners received almost 40% of the country's incomes, which is 10 times what the bottom 20% earned, according to the World Bank, as we can see right here in the graphic. Having said that, there is a need to consider the huge difference between the social classes in Colombia and how the distribution of of its wealthness is basically deficient. As we can see right here, the top 10 is like the 40% of the incomes of Colombia, or the earners of the wealthness of Colombia. And the other percentages are distributed by the rest of the people. Another issue that I would like to mention is that the neighborhoods in Colombia, people who live right here tend to eat more junk food, because it is faster and because it is cheaper than a salad. People don't have also the time because they work a lot, and they don't have the time to prepare food, to prepare meals, so they go for the closest store and buy junk food. Another issue is the infrastructure, because the streets in Colombia, many of the cities in Colombia don't have sidewalks, and when they do, the traffic, cars and motorcycles don't respect them, so people can go for a walk in the sidewalks because they might get hurt by a motorcycle or a car. Also the security. In Colombia we don't feel safe going out because there are a lot of thieves and there's a lot of insecurity and we don't feel safe. So people prefer to stay home and not go out for a jog, mainly in the neighborhoods of low class, because they might get robbed or even hurt. Plus, if someone wants to be fit, they would like to pay for a gym membership or count with a professional trainer to help them achieve this. But gym memberships can go from 60,000 pesos up to more than 100,000 pesos. To sum up, there is enough evidence to point out the differences between rich and poor people, mainly in the incomes of each social classes, because the lower the income, the less opportunities the person has. And the more incomes they have, the more benefits they will get. The references, and that will be all. Thank you.